life since 1981. So when I retired, I was obviously looking for something to do. I knew about FODI by then, and so I went along to the drop-in the first week I retired. And I love the people there, you know, both the service users and the volunteers. So I started off just as a volunteer, and then after a while I was invited to be a trustee once I've been going for quite a long time. And then the chair resigned, so I can't remember quite how it came about, but anyway, I became the chair, and that's the role that I have now. Well, I've always had a big interest in human rights and a kind of involvement in human rights, because I was the secretary of a group of Amnesty International for 30 years in Sunderland, and I used to do a lot of school talks in other schools apart from the one where I worked. So I always had that human rights interest, and obviously one of the sort of key rights that, you know, is very much one that's pertinent to people in the UK is the rights of asylum seekers and refugees, so it was just a natural progression, really. Well, when you're working, you go for a promotion, you don't get it, you stay in the same position and whatever, but when you're retired it's a bit different. Looking back, I don't really quite know. It just happened, you know. So originally I was a volunteer, I wasn't thinking of becoming a trustee or anything, but then when you get asked, you think, well, okay. And then same with becoming chair, I had no ambition or aspiration, it just happened, really. Well, of course, it's where I live, but I mean, I love Sunderland. I've always loved living in Sunderland. I think it's a brilliant place to bring up children. I've got married with 3 children. They all grew up and went to school in Sunderland. So obviously I could, I suppose, choose to do the work somewhere else, but I think to work with asylum seekers and refugees in Sunderland it's very rewarding and kind of easy to do in a way, because the local community, there's so much support. With other charities, but also individuals as well. I mean, that might happen elsewhere, I don't know, but it's definitely true in Sunderland. Okay. Well, with FODI, I think it's the role of being not the chair so much, just to being a trustee. So our role, we've got a brilliant group of trustees, a mixture of people with lived experience of the asylum system and others who are, people from the local community. And our role is really to support the manager, Fanny, and the operations assistant, the new one we've appointed last year, to support them and to enable them to do what they do. And I think it'd be fair to say that FODI's kind of grown, certainly grown in the sense of we have more service users than we used to, but the range of the projects we do is greater, and I think that's the role that the trustees play. We're in the background giving support. Well, no individual in my position can make a difference on their own, but collectively with the trustees and the volunteers at FODI, I definitely think that we help with the well-being, physical and mental health of asylum seekers, but also we help to integrate them in the local community. And some of the local groups that we integrate them with are very, very welcoming and kind, so it's easy and quite rewarding work to do.